We move over to the Great Flinders Netball Association now, and Elizabeth Burns joins me on the line to give us all the latest results and to preview the upcoming round as well as the season almost comes to an end. How are you, Elizabeth?
I'm going really well, thank you. I'm actually quite pleased. It's getting towards finals. It's really getting quite exciting.
Yes, it certainly is. And, well, we had some exciting results on the weekend, including one rather unexpected result as we get close to finals, and that was Tumby Bay drawing level with Cummins Kapini at 41 apiece. Tumby Bay, top of the ladder, 12 wins and 1 loss going into the game. Cummins Kapini, 3, 7 and 2 draws. So we didn't really see that one coming.
No, not at all. And I think it really highlights what a difference it makes when you miss a key player. In this case, Tumby Bay were missing Ilka Stone, and Taryn Binky didn't play a full game either. And so a goalie and a key defender out really turned the tables, and Summer Cave for Tumby Bay moved from defence into goals. And so I think that really threw the Tumby side and made a big difference. And Cougars have been playing some great netball. They've got a lot of young players that have really stepped up. So it was actually a great hit out between some of the best top young players in our association, and really sort of a bit of a window into what the next couple of years may look like.
Really good to see the youth getting in and getting a run in that one. And for Tumby Bay, that will be their last game for the season until finals. They've got the bye next week. So for those girls that had the week off, they'll get an extended break before finals. Now, our other two games were quite interesting results, and we'll touch on the ramifications of them in a sec. But Eyre United had a 12-goal win over United Yalana, 51-39, and Elliston Districts beat the Ramblers 59-33. So just quickly run us through those two games.
Sure, the Eyre United and Yalana game, I think the Saints settled early. They went in with a fair bit of confidence after their spectacular win over Lock the week prior. There were some really great passages of play by both teams. Young Yasmin Spatauza is really stepping up in goals this season for the Eyre United girls, and Yelena actually had Riley Modra hop on the court as well. She's another exciting young player coming through. They had a guest appearance by Riley Norton, who formerly played for Yelena and has pursued university and a career. And she was back for the weekend, and she stepped back into goals. But I think Eyre United were just too strong, and this win will actually put Eyre United up into equal fifth, and they're only 1 percentage point ahead of Cougars. Same points, but just a percent above. And that means that it's going to set them up for a contest between Ramblers, with Ramblers for their final game this weekend for a berth in the finals. So pretty exciting game at Ungara this weekend. And our other game was Elliston and Ramblers, and Elliston took that win quite convincingly. It does cement their position in second place. Rosie Rom and Emerson O'Brien are really strong in goals, and Lorena Heberman's feeding in the ring is very accurate and on point, makes a difference for those quick little feeds and quick passes to set up an early goal. Ramblers really missed Michaela Richardson, and a bit of a shout out to Michaela. She's actually representing Australia in Brisbane in the World Indoor Netball Association Tri-Nations Championship. So quite an amazing achievement for a young player there as well. And also a big loss for the Ramblers side against Elliston, and they'll really feel her. I don't believe she's back this weekend. So she's sort of enjoying a bit of sunshine up in Brisbane. I believe they came second in the runners-up to the Kiwis in the sixes. And so, pretty exciting competition for Michaela. But, Ramblers not quite able to get over such a strong side in Elliston last weekend.
Very exciting for Michaela indeed. I might have to get her on the Sports Hour. And just taking a look again forward to the games this week. Like you said, with those results for Eyre United and the Ramblers, they're playing off this week in virtually an elimination final. Winner makes finals. If it's a draw, the Ramblers do have the edge because they've got a draw to their name, where Eyre United have one extra loss. Probably won't be a draw, but you never know. Virtually an elimination final before the finals begin, so one of the biggest games on the calendar to date.
Absolutely. The gloves will be off, the battle lines will be drawn. I'm expecting a pretty tense, hard-fought game, and I think Eyre United are really peaking at the right end of the season. I think Ramblers will really miss Michaela. But, the team that can capitalise on those turnovers, they may just take the advantage. It should be a very interesting game and definitely looking forward to booking a spectator seat on the side of the court this weekend.
And we'll quickly run through our other two games as well, where it's Lock taking on United Yolana and Elliston Districts taking on Cummins Kapini. So Lock and Elliston Districts will certainly be looking to get some good wins heading into finals.
Lock will have the home ground advantage, and they would probably want to be looking for a strong win to take that confidence into the first semi-final clash next week at Tumby Bay. Lock are actually one of the oldest playing groups that we've got in our A-grade competition this year, and I just don't think you can underestimate that depth of knowledge and experience, and I think when it really counts, they can pull it out of the bag. So I would think that Lock would want to really play some of their best netball against Yolana to give them that confidence going in, and it should be a fairly straightforward game. I'm a bit hesitant to say that after some of the results in the last few weeks. And our Cougars-Elliston game, a similar dynamic, I think. I think Elliston will really be wanting to put some of their finals combinations up and test that. But I think Cougars are no walkover either. So even though they look at this stage unable to be able to make finals, it would certainly be a pretty good match regardless. And Elliston's travelling really well, and I think all round another good game.
Thanks for joining us, Elizabeth. We'll chat to you next week.
My pleasure.
We move straight over to Eastern Eyre Netball with Kristy Turnbull now. How are you, Kristy?
Yeah, I'm very well for a Friday. Thank you, Dan. How about you?
Yes, also very well for a Friday. Always good on a Friday. Weekend right around the corner, and I'm sure your weekend will be packed full of netball, won't it?
It certainly will be a full weekend in the Eastern Eyre Association this weekend.
Very good. Not for much longer, though, because it is the last round this weekend. So we'll get into that in a moment. But before we do, we'll take a look back at the results last weekend. And it was a couple of, relatively big blowouts. We'll start with the Kimber Districts and Ports game. And Kimber Districts won that one 46-29. Given their ladder positioning and their records for the year, we know Ports haven't been able to win a game yet. They're 0-12 and Kimber are at 9-2, fighting for top spot on the ladder. Not really too bad of a performance by Ports there.
Now, certainly a very, very good performance by the Ports girls to finish their season this year. It was an excellent game to watch. And Ports actually matched Kimber in the first and in the fourth quarters on the scoreboard. So really positive signs from the Ports girls. Kimber just had a bit of a stronger third quarter, and Ports girls couldn't quite match them in that quarter, and that's where Kimber took that fairly comfortable lead. But certainly promising signs for the Ports girls. It's a shame it's the end of the season, but they were very happy with that 17-goal difference there, when in the past we've had, 20s and 30s and bigger margins against the Kimber girls. So looks like the Ports team won't change too much for the 24 season, which is exciting news. So they've certainly got something to build on there.
Yeah, certainly something to build on. They've gotten better as the season's gone on, and they have had a few pretty close losses throughout the year, so I'm sure it will be a better season for them next year. And we'll look at our other game. Central Eyre United had a pretty good win at Cowell, 51-29.
Yeah, again, Dan, probably an expected result there at Cowell last week. There's been a fairly big blowout between the Cow and Storm girls. So Cow would have been happy to reduce that down to just over a 20-goal margin. I think they've had a 30 and a 40-goal margin. So showing improvements again before finals, the Cow girls. And it sounds like it was a really good game to watch. The scoreboard didn't necessarily show the intensity of the game. Cow continued to apply the pressure across the court, but Storm just play a different style of netball to Cow, and they couldn't quite match that intensity and pace of the Storm girls.
All right, so pretty straightforward results there in round 14, though a couple of honourable losses from our bottom two teams on the table. And we'll look forward to round 15. Like you said, Ports are on the bye, so their season is all done and dusted. They're looking forward to next year, and they're probably, I would imagine they've got some sort of silly Saturday event lined up for this weekend, which I'm sure they'll have a lot of fun with, and I'm sure will be nice and responsible fun. But we'll have a look at the games that are going on. We've got Central Eyre taking on Eastern Rangers. You'd think it should be straightforward win for Central Eyre, but the Rangers did beat them last time they met.
Yeah, they certainly did. So it's been mixed results between these two teams. Storm had a really good win the first time they met. Rangers caused a huge upset, getting them by 2 goals the last time. So it actually could go either way. Rangers are coming in off a bye, so whether that will affect them or not, I expect they'll probably take a little bit longer to settle. Their momentum's a little bit broken. The Storm girls haven't had a loss since that loss to Rangers back in the second round. So they're going to be feeling fairly confident. They're sitting top spot on our ladder. They want to keep that top spot, I would think, and they won't let the Rangers girls. They won't want to let the Rangers girls get a win. So I think it'll be a tight tussle. Rangers know they can do it, as I've done it before. I think, Storm will be firing, and if they get an early jump on Rangers, I think Storm will certainly run away with that game. But Rangers won't go down without a fight. They'll certainly apply the pressure the whole way across. It's just whether or not they'll be able to match the intensity that the Storm girls have been playing at the last few weeks.
Kimber District hosting Cowell, and that one will be at Kimber.
Again, the last couple of meetings here have been fairly one-sided, going the Kimber girls' way. Quite a fairly big gap on the scoreboard. I think Cowell are probably going to struggle again like they did against Storm last week, because Kimber do play that much faster paced game. They'll have to settle quickly, the Cow girls, to be able to match that. Let's hope they can, and they certainly will put up a good fight.
All right, so there's our round 15 action. Last round for the season before we get into finals. So a little bit still to play out. Of course, Kimber can still jump Central Eyre on top of the ladder if Eastern Rangers can cause that upset over Central Eyre, but I'm sure they won't be too fast who finishes top and who finishes second. Is there home advantage at stake for top versus second?
No, there's not. Finals are set. Finals locations are already set.
All right, there we go. And is there any other news around the association before we wrap up?
Yeah, this weekend on Sunday we head to Cow for our annual association count and presentation dinner. So it's going to be lots of fun and laughs. We always do at these counts. Our theme this year is board games, and the clubs have come up with some really good themes to match that. So I'm excited to get along there, see who our senior winners are across our association this year, and celebrate them and celebrate the season that was before we head into our final series. So it should be a great day at Cow for those that are attending.
Absolutely. Certainly sounds like it will be a great day and a very interesting theme there. Never heard of a board game theme being done for a night like that before, so that one should be a cracker.
Yeah, I think it'll be lots of fun. We always have lots of fun, and everyone always goes all out with their costumes and decorations for these days. So can't wait to see everyone dressed up and have a really good end of the season, like I said, before we head into finals with everyone.
All right, looking forward to hearing about it next week. Thanks for your time, Kristy. Enjoy the netball this weekend, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
Will do. Thanks, Dan.